Jai Hind viewers, we welcome you back to another episode of Expert Opinion from MRO Digest forums. We have a number of experts in our forum, and they keep coming and giving, on our request, their expert opinion on very current topics. Recently, I came across an article, and it was related to use of eVTOL aircraft for supply chain. So I thought, why not request Commander Sonal Saxena to give his views on this as an expert. I am grateful to him for having accepted my invitation. Commander Sonal Saxena is an MTech naval aeronautical engineer qualified on Russian turboprops with management certification from NITIE Mumbai, the number one institution for supply chain in India, and also a recent certification through MIT and BITS Pilani on competing in business through AI powered supply chains. He held appointments including chief manager of a major naval engine holding MRO and component workshop with experience in indigenization and composite repair. He was chief engineer for three ships and project manager for two major refits in civil defense collaboration. He was also designated Navy's technical flight safety auditor and technical examiner. So, as I said, I came across this article. Eve joins DHL to streamline eVTOL supply chain. The article says that the partnership aims to explore and understand best practices for efficiently supplying operators and service centers with spare parts and inputs, with a specific emphasis on batteries and their transportation, storage, and disposal requirements. I shared this article with Commander Sonal, requested him to give us his opinion on it. So, Sonal, may I request you to tell us what you feel about this development? Sonal, please.
Jain sir, firstly, thanks, and it's good to be back on this August forum and share my experiences and thoughts. This particular topic has been a very interesting one and covers at least two areas of my expertise, that is aviation as well as the supply chain management that I have recently explored on. Starting with urban air mobility, the air mobility market size is expected to grow from $2.91 billion in 2023 to USD 36.75 billion by 2035. It's the CGR of around 23.54%. The Asia Pacific region is fast emerging as a key source of momentum for the UAM sector. Various countries like China, Japan, and South Korea have been robustly investing in this development of UAM ecosystems in the region. So this article presented me with a good opportunity to do quite a bit of research and then come back with what can be applied on ground, what all needs to be done. I'll start with some basics of terms and definitions with regards to UAMS for a comprehensive understanding of the ecosystem and its dynamics. The urban air mobility market is an aviation industry term for on-demand and automated passenger or cargo carrying air transportation service around cities and urban areas. The UAM market is segmented by vehicle type, application, and geography. By vehicle type, the market is further segmented into piloted and autonomous. and by application into passenger transport and freighters. We will limit to electric vertical takeoff and landing systems, the eVTOL, which is also the theme of this article, and not include gas turbine engine powered helicopters. We can encompass both intercity and intracity aspects of eVTOL's operations. An autonomous eVTOL is an electric aircraft that can take off and land vertically and does not require a pilot on board to operate. These aircraft are designed to transport passengers, cargo in urban areas, and are typically powered by electric motors. So the autonomous segment is estimated to show remarkable growth. Embraer SA through Eve UAM LLC, Volocopter GmbH, Guangzhou Yihang Intelligent Technology Company Limited, Joby Aero Incorporated, and Jaunt Air Mobility Corporation are some prominent players in this UAM market. Whisk Aero and eHang are some of the players currently developing autonomous eVTOLs. On this note, in October 22, Whisk Aero, which is a joint venture between Boeing and Kitty Hawk, unveiled its sixth generation four-seater autonomous eVTOL aircraft. As to the relevance in India, in May 2022, during the India at 2047, the Civil Aviation Ministry announced that the country would have urban air mobility in the form of eVTOLs across the country. After the trial in the United States and Canada are over, such developments are anticipated to accelerate the growth of UAM market in the region. Now, these autonomous eVTOLs use a range of advanced technologies, including electric motors, batteries, and fly-by-wire command and control systems. They also use advanced sensors and control systems for navigation and positioning through the urban environment and avoid obstacles. There is an essential requirement for landing pads, charging ports, ground handling systems, and lastly, most essentially, regulatory and safety systems form part of the eVTOL UAMS. We need to factor these logistical challenges as an ecosystem for the overall supply chain strategy. We need to formulate a framework to explore and understand best practices for efficiently supplying operators and service centers with authentic spare parts and inputs. And here I emphasize a mechanism for complete traceability and accountability at all key points. Another important aspect includes the batteries and their transportation, storage, and disposal requirements. Eve, a subsidiary of Embraer X, is at the forefront of urban air mobility revolution. It plans for eVTOL deliveries and entry into service by 2026. It is just another 2.5 years left. The recent collaboration between Eve and DHL is aimed to encompass several key aspects of the eVTOL supply chain. This eVTOL supply chain framework would factor modes of transportation, frequency and delivery plans, logistic partners, potential locations for advanced inventories, physical and technological infrastructure needs, and disruption contingency plans. The framework also would strategize distribution of parts and material essential for repair and maintenance, optimizing supply chains for general supplies to these vertiports that has been termed as their stations, and addressing, lastly, battery logistics. Discussing each of these aspects individually. Modes of transportation and logistic partners. DHL is an established one-stop shop for complete logistics solutions. So a comprehensive plan from them in this partnership study should deliver a gap-free solution. Frequency and delivery plans. These will largely depend on the geography, operating environment, and utilization pattern would have to factor supply chain fluctuations. Since the complete technology is new, limited data analytics would be available for effective, predictive, and prescriptive supply chain management and would form a real challenge. Considering the inventory carrying costs at every stage, a delicate balance between lean stocking would be the call of the day, as well as mandatorily avoiding stockout situations. The potential locations for advanced inventories, that's a key factor. This would be another challenge, especially in APAC region, where geographical challenges and local factors bring huge volatility in connectivity and inventory planning. Also, as I mentioned earlier, with limited data available for predictive analytics, overcoming these challenges and developing the methodology for an initial smooth supply chain takeoff would be a very interesting thing to note. And the methodology will be a pilot study kind of thing. Physically and technology infrastructure needs will have to be factored. The servicing and MRO facilities and depth of repairs in each of these facilities would also need thorough groundwork. Testing and certification also will have to be factored, and clearing inspection agencies would form an integral part of the regulatory compliance framework. These are beyond and in addition to the basic vertiport facilities, ground support, etc., and air traffic management and air traffic services. Lastly, disruption and contingency plans will have to be factored. Avoidance of stockout, even in disruptive circumstances, to enable sustainable time to recovery or time to survival of services and spares, stroke MRO supply chain would have to be undertaken using effective risk assessment and avoidance stroke risk mitigation. Lastly, a major factor is addressing the battery logistics. Presently, lithium-ion batteries are governed under the United Nations regulations, UN 3480 and UN 3481, as Class 9 miscellaneous dangerous goods due to the dangers of short-circuiting and thermal runaway risks. They are considered fully regulated for carriage in aircraft, and air cargo will form a major component of this supply chain. So therefore, all lithium batteries will have to be mandatorily compliantly transported on cargo-only aircraft, subject to regulations of packaging, labeling, and charge limitations. This particular factor, most of the logisticians or logistic companies do not factor except for the major ones. So, and another major issue will be the reverse logistics of these batteries, as used batteries will have to return and which will not be permitted through air transportation as per these UN regulations. Now, eVTOLs would be primarily dependent on battery logistics, and the complete supply chain loop management strategy would require a multi-level and a multimodal planning. Collaborative digital models where technologies such as embedded sensors, GPS, and RFIDs could be effectively used to make the supply chain structure more agile, flexible, and open. As I have advocated earlier, incorporation of a blockchain supply technology in the supply chain management will definitely provide a most effective tool for optimal control and economically viable solution. Sir, this is my summary of this article, and there is a lot of ground that needs to be covered on this aspect, as it's a totally new technology. The policies, the frameworks have not been formed up as yet. In India, as I recall, a multimodal system is being formulated at Gujarat, somewhere near Gandhinagar, I believe. So that system will also factor for urban air mobility, and eVTOL will be used as a pilot project in times to come. Although the visibility will only be after the aircraft or the systems are proven in the countries which are doing primarily research on these systems. With this, sir, I think I've covered quite a bit.
Yeah. So thank you very much. In fact, Sonal, that's very, very educative. You have given a complete picture of the entire picture of what you see it as. And, a question comes to mind that, are there other logistic partners who have also ventured in the opportunity to supply spares using electrical vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, and what has been their experience, Sonal?
Sir, that's again, I started this research because, and I found out that all the major players, DHL, UPS, Amazon, FedEx, Siva Logistics is there. They've all been partnering. DHL has partnered with Microsoft separately to develop an intelligent supply chain solution for including for spare part logistics. UPS is expanding its warehousing and distribution network for spare parts in Europe. Amazon is expanding its B2B marketplace for industrial parts. Now, FedEx has acquired Australian logistic company Manton, specializing in transportation of automotive spare parts. Siva Logistics has partnered with Mitsubishi Electric for spare part distribution in Europe. And all these companies, they're looking at like delivery within 24 hours, high value spares at any location across Europe. Similar situation will also develop in Asia. And spare part logistics is influenced by a range of global dynamics. And again, it's a very interesting fact because spare parts requirement in the industry has been a major demand. The production and the losses that happen due to disruption in machinery breakdowns or non-availability of spare parts has made this demand very prominent in the market. And now, since these logistic companies have established a very last mile connectivity supply chain, so now spare part delivery is possible. The global dynamics includes economic, technological, and regulatory factors. Some key dynamics include increasing demand for timely and efficient delivery. Industries such as automotive and aerospace rely on timely delivery of parts to minimize downtime and ensure smooth operations. Then there is fluctuating demand. Spare parts prediction, and now with the AI/ML, it is expected to improve. But earlier, the requirement had been very fluctuating. And we had different techniques of planned maintenance, unscheduled maintenance. But the demand didn't have a set pattern. So this has to be now standardized or put into a framework. Then another major issue is regulatory constraints. The spare part logistics market is subject to various regulations related to transportation, safety, and security. And these regulations can create challenges for logistic companies, particularly those operating across multiple jurisdictions. And again, increasing competition is again a major factor. The spare part logistic market is highly competitive with a range of players that have started coming in, offering specialized services such as emergency response, reverse logistics, and real-time tracking. So the companies are trying to leverage themselves through use of advancement in technologies for improved inventory management and order processing, and enhance the speed and accuracy of deliveries. Secondly, growth of e-commerce has again contributed immensely to meet the need of e-commerce customers, as well as the complete customer base has shifted actually to e-commerce. So with this, the rest of the companies are also looking into, and a lot of groundwork has already been done by these companies to study the market and establish some groundwork procedures. This EVE and DHL joint study that is supposed to happen will definitely yield a lot of workable results and which can be implemented on the ground and can be used as a fundamental framework for further progress in this sector.
Thank you very much, Commander Sonal. It's for covering this whole emerging technology disruptive, I would say, in some ways, in such detail, with so much of information. Thank you for the research which you have done in preparation for today's interview. I really look forward to having you back again as an expert on this topic, because this is something which will interest a very large number of people. and there can be many opportunities which can come out of that. So with that, viewers, we come to the end of this particular episode of Expert Opinion from MRO Digest forums. We thank you for being with us today. The links to the LinkedIn profile of Commander Sonal Saxena, as well as the article which we have mentioned, and other links are available. This platform of ours is for MRO professionals, and you are welcome to subscribe to our platform. You send us a message using one of the links below, and we'll get in touch with you, send you an invitation. In future, we look forward to having you back with us for further discussions and webinars and other dialogues which we have on our platform. And with that, I bring this particular episode to a close. I once again thank Commander Sonal Saxena.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, viewers, once again. Jai Hind.